And we're live. I completely made a mess of that intro, but here we are. We're live. Welcome back to the Goonerverse. I completely forgot to do the intro. I completely forgot to hit everything. I just hit go live, and now here we are. First live back for a little while. I hope you're all well. That was very funny. Sorry about that. It's the Champions League final, everyone. I can't believe it. It's the Champions League final. I mean, I'm sure a few of you have heard me talking about this before, but let's turn the volume up a little bit. This is the first game I ever watched as an Arsenal fan. This was the first game I ever got emotionally involved in. I watched it with my family. I watched it with my mum, my dad, my brother. I was 10, 11 years old. And it was the first game I ever kind of remember as an Arsenal fan. And yeah, the pain that kind of came with it. And here we are. 20 years later. What a journey, what a journey, supporting this football club, seeing us go from the laughingstock of the Premier League, the laughingstock of Europe, constantly humiliated, constantly embarrassed, now on a point where we're on the big stage as Premier League winners, and we're looked at as, you know what, having a genuine chance of lifting this thing. The trophy with the big ears, the one that the most prestigious of clubs have won, not just once, but multiple times. Now, PSG only recently got their hands on it, but they're going back to back. We have the chance to stop that. Welcome back to everyone. Let me know where you are watching from. Love from India. Thank you so much for tuning in. Everyone, let me know where you are around the world. Let me know how you're feeling, because the feeling going to this game is extraordinary. I've never seen anything like it, actually. I've never seen such calm, such relaxation, such a lack of kind of hype and energy. I mean, there is energy because of the Premier League win and because we're feeling great about our team, but usually there is kind of so much build-up. I mean, I'm not even exaggerating. I feel like, in terms of pure media, there's kind of more hype and conversation around the Carabao Cup final. Can Arsenal overcome City? What would it mean if they do? The implication on the title race, all that. We're going into this game ready to just enjoy it, which is kind of extraordinary in itself. To be on a stage this big, knowing we've achieved so much this season, that we can actually drop our shoulders and enjoy this competition the way we have most of this campaign. But that's not to say that we're not desperate to win it. That's not to say it won't hurt like hell if we don't win it. But it means that we can play with the degree of freedom that I think really suits this Arsenal team. Hey, love to see this. You all let me know where you're watching. And Malton says he's in Australia, going to Cheers Bar. So you're in Sydney. I was there for the semi-finals, and it brought me good luck. I hope you have an amazing time. Love from Uganda. Excited for today. Thank you so much, Phil, for the big up. I appreciate it. Tuning in Portugal, in Norway, Ethiopia. I love it. This is absolutely live from the US. Here we go. Switzerland. Arsenal fans around the world. We've got Washington. We've got Cape Town. I was there in March. I had a great time in Cape Town. We got Max in the building. I'm loving the energy in this place. Come on, everyone's feeling good. Everyone's ready for the big one today. And we are going to talk tactics a little bit. We're going to, let's see if this is the right. No, it's not. This is what happens when not quite what I wanted either. There we go. That's what happens when you go live for a little while, people. You forget the intro. You can't even get the right framing on screen, but we're here now. And everyone, there'll be a lot more of these. Obviously, throughout the summer, we'll be doing live reactions, we'll be doing news, we'll be doing so much content. As the transfer window happens, as the World Cup's going on, Football First is there as well. If you are tuning into it all, I can't thank you enough. I think we probably want to make these a little bit bigger. Yeah, that's a good size. And let's see about this. How's that? Can you all see that clearly? Obviously, a few players a little bit in the way of one another, but I think we're largely okay to get on and talk tactics a little bit. And you're probably seeing a key name there, and that's Jurriën Timber. Right, let's talk about this. Let's talk about what we know with this kind of information and around this player. I just did see a comment asking where I'm watching it. I'm actually watching it with my family, like I did 20 years ago, in our living room, the same living room, the same house, obviously. 20 years on, and I can't wait. I'm really looking forward to it, and I'm hoping for a very, very different outcome. Big thank you to A. January. I really appreciate the kind words. Okay, so this came from Hand of Arsenal. Jurien Timber has been included in the Arsenal squad to face PSG. Late call made by Arteta to include the Dutchman following his return to first-team training. Let the mind games begin. I'm just going to drink some water quick. I'm going to mute myself while I do that because you don't, Anyway. Timber, in the comments right now, is he starting? Yes or no? Let me know. I think he does. I think he starts. I think Jurien Timber is going to be in the starting 11 for this game. Sorry, I keep adjusting the volume. I think he's going to be in the starting 11. I think they've been preparing for this point. I have no information. I wish I did. I think that Arsenal have done this thing. They've been doing it for a little while. It's really been a thing under Mikel Arteta. And we've spoken about it maybe at some point last year, but the thing is, Arsenal haven't had major injury problems. We've had a lot of injuries, but they've been 3 weeks there, 4 weeks here, blah blah blah. We're in this weird situation where players can sort of be out for longer than we're even to a point of actually being critical of Arteta, where we're like, and I've said it, I'll hold my hands up, where we say, why don't we know what's going on? This is meant to be a matter of weeks. There's a chance Timber could have played the Carabao Cup final. What do we mean we don't know if he started in the Champions League final? How can we not have information? Over time, that information has come out via Arteta. Hand of Arsenal's made it clear that these groin problems could be a very difficult one to manage. We obviously didn't know whether he was going to make the Netherlands squad for the World Cup, but he has. I'm very happy for him that he has. That's indication that they are confident he's going to be okay, which is obviously bodes well for Arsenal. So Arsenal have been doing this thing where, I remember we did it with Mikel Merino and his shoulder injury at the start of the 24-25 season. I remember we did it with Saka and his hamstring injury. I think we even did it with Kai Havertz more recently, if I'm not mistaken. We do this thing where we tend to keep players away until we know they're good, and then they're in. I think we did it with Gabriel's hamstring injury as well. We keep them away, no, they're not ready, and we drop them back in the matchday squad. Such is the strength of our squad. But I also think this is before we had the great squad. I really think this is something we have done to manage the players as best as possible. We have kept them away from action. I appreciate James Maddison and Tottenham had a very particular situation, what with the relegation battle and the ACL injury. But you see how Maddison was on the bench for a few weeks before he eventually comes on, and then they're managing his minutes up to a point. Arsenal, I think their approach to that situation would be, you're not in, but once you are, you can play. And I think that's where we're at with Timber. I think where we're at with Timber is this sense of keep him away, like we've done with others. And now we know he's not just fit, but he's match ready to go. Whether it's playing half an hour, whether it's playing an hour and coming off, whatever it is, he can give us something proper in this game. We're not throwing him cold, we're not taking a risk. I don't believe that this is Arsenal being irresponsible in any way, shape or form. I believe they've been managing him and looking after him to get him prepared for this point. I think if he wanted to play against Palace, he probably could have. I think if he wanted to play against Burnley, that might have been more touch and go, but who knows? I really think Arsenal have got him ready for this point. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I read somewhere that he played in a behind closed doors friendly. I'm not trying to put words in your mouth, Hand of Arsenal, but I feel like you might have said that. But I might be wrong, because now I can't find the tweet, so I might absolutely be wrong. So don't quote me on that. I thought I'd seen a tweet. If you'd seen that as well, or it could be anyone, or a report or something. I thought I'd seen something. Yeah. Can't see anything at the moment. But correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, please. I don't want to be putting out false information. So, can't find that now. I thought I'd read somewhere that he'd even played in a behind closed doors friendly, but maybe I dreamt that. Such is the obsession with this football club. So, I asked you all, would he start? Let's see what you're all saying. Yes. Oh, sorry. Yes. 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 No. Yes. Yes. Timber, no. Yes. Yes. Yes, he is. We've even got a test. Yeah. I think a lot of people... Yes, lol. Yes. Yes. Cool. A lot of people are thinking he's going to get the nod. Did any of you see that? I wasn't the only one who thought I saw this, right? But If it's gone, then it's gone for a reason. And yes, Hand of Arsenal did say that. Okay, fine. I thought I was going crazy. But if it's not there anymore, it's not there for a reason. That's fine. So, or we've all got it wrong. But I don't think we have. Fine. So, cool. Timber, I think, is ready to play this game. So then the question becomes about the 11. Now, in a little bit, we'll talk about PSG, and we'll talk about their threats and what it is we've got to stop, what we're up against. But first and foremost, we're talking about this Arsenal 11. Now, this 11 is the 11 I'm predicting. So I did the video with Sharoy, we built our 11, we debated what we wanted to see, what we would do. And it was slightly different. We both had Gyökeres up front instead of Kai Havertz. We both had Eze instead of Ødegaard, but we did make the point for Ødegaard as well. We made the point for Havertz, to be fair, which is very possible. And then, of course, uncertainty around Timber. You could get Nketiah in instead of Calafiori. You could get the pace of Martinelli in for Trossard. There's a few things you could do. You could play Rice is this in the 6 with Ødegaard, or you can move Rice to the 8 instead of Lewis Skelly and then get Zubimendi in there. There's so much stuff you could do. I think I misspoke there earlier, but whatever. Anyway, let's power on. So, yeah, that's my expected 11. And just to this point here, coming from Gracie62 UK, it's not just fitness, it's match sharpness. Yeah, but that's my point. I think they've been getting him ready. If there was this behind closed doors friendly, which I appreciate is never going to be the magnitude of a Champions League final, then I think they have been trying to get him ready for being on the pitch and playing competitive football. But I'd also add that muscle memory, it's a real thing. You know, Timber over the last 2 years has played so much football. I don't think it'll take him that long to get up to speed. Now, touch wood, I hope I'm wrong, but he's going to be crucial. I think he's worth the risk. I think he is worth the risk because of this unbelievable PSG front three that we're going to talk about more in a little bit. So, let's talk tactically a little bit. Why is it so important we get Timber in the team? But it's because of this guy. It's because of Kvaratskhelia and what he can do. He is such a threat. He's so direct. He is the type. He'll get that ball and he'll just have you constantly jockeying backwards. Constantly. And then he's the type to either go around you, or he'll find the little pass on the inside, or he'll float more central and he'll want that ball on the inside. Or he'll drop into the pockets, or he'll come out wide. He will float everywhere. He is an incredibly talented footballer. And he is thriving off this PSG system. Now, what's scary about PSG, if we just move them up the pitch a little bit, is the fluidity. But it's not just fluidity, it's fluidity to a point of actually not really knowing exactly where they're going to be most of the game. Because they can honestly pop up in so many different areas. So, for example, I've got Vitinha as the 8, as the 6, and Neves as the 8. But they alternate so much. It could easily look like this a lot of the game. It could easily look like this a lot of the game. It could easily look like this, with the players pulling wide, Mendes going in the pocket, Ruiz pulling out, Vitinha going high, so Dembele can come and receive that ball into the pockets as well. They are so stupidly fluid, and that becomes so difficult for Arsenal to try and keep an eye on. So difficult. And I said in my preview, and I think I said it actually in the Football First preview, how do you pick those players up? Which is why I'm really keen on this area in particular being shielded by Declan Rice. I'm really keen on Declan Rice not just being moved into the 8 so he can bomb forward. And yes, there's going to be some quality he brings in that. But I would give Lewis Skelly as a ball carrier the time and space to run into that area when there is a transition, when there is a counter-attack or whatever. I would have Rice as the shielder. And naturally when you press like this. And I'd match physicality for physicality. Lewis Skelly and Declan Rice on Ruiz and Neves. The problem is we like to go quite man for man, and we did it really well against Bayern Munich. But like I said, these players float all over the place. So how do you stop that? So if you're Saliba, for example, let's say you've decided you're going to man mark Ousmane Dembele. Okay, let's do that again. You're gonna do you follow him? Cool. You follow Harry Kane all the way to there. Do you follow him all the way to here? Do you follow him all the way to here? What do you do? And what happens to that massive gap that's left next to Gabriel? It's going to be so interesting to see how William Saliba and Arteta approach the problem of Ousmane Dembele, who is such an unbelievable threat from the false nine. So, if you do want to go a little bit more man for man on the press, a few things you can do then. Because this is what's difficult. We tend, I don't know if you've... It's why I wasn't blaming Martinelli for the Man City goal at the Etihad. We've actually been playing with our right winger getting out to left centre-back. We've done that a few times. And I don't know if that's to focus the press infield. Are we trying to suffocate them into an area? Because sometimes then the ball will go out and then it's our right back who jumps. And when they jump, everyone then comes across. Now, I think the only reason they'd be happy to do that is A, Saliba marking Kvaratskhelia, B, keeps your central midfield quite compact with theirs, and it makes sure that you've actually got better physical matchups, but also means you've got great physical matchups across here. So I wonder on the press, rather than this, for example, because this is another option, right? This is another option, isn't it? That basically the front two press, as we're used to seeing, Ødegaard setting the tone, Saka tracking Mendes. But if he tracks Mendes, he's tracking him all the way in here. And we just don't want Saka there. I remember Trossard ending up in this area of the pitch against West Ham to cover. That's great in a one-off moment, but it wasn't like a regular role of his. So I don't really want Gabriel being pulled all the way over here. If one of them's going to man mark, I'd rather it be Saliba. And then if you do that, then you're talking about him going everywhere and the centre-backs being completely pulled apart. So I think, do you know what? As we're talking it through, I think I might have just stumbled on actually why I think we do this. I think we do this simply to maintain the midfield shape and not completely pull apart the back four, and at least there being like a shifted shape rather than like a... So I think they want like a horizontal pulling apart rather than a vertical pulling apart. So let's illustrate it one more time. We're saying that Saka will go press onto here, like Martinelli did for the Man City goal. He got it wrong. He went too late. He got bypassed by the goalkeeper's pass. Fine. But I think the idea is we want that player here and we want our fullback to go jump. And that's quite a nice physical matchup too. Saliba comes across. Gabriel, forgive me, is on Dembele there. And then like we said, physically, we should be able to live with him here. So that's what I'm expecting. That is basically from a tactical setup perspective and from a personnel perspective, that's what I think it's going to be. And I think the idea is, if you do force the error, they try play through, Rice gets in front, I think the idea is you've got to have Saka ready to go. You've got Saka ready to bounce and go and to jump and go and exploit some of the space there. For what it's worth, though, while I think this is the 11... So actually, this is a good question. Before I answer that, I was going to make another point. Let's answer this. Why would you press on a centre-back leaving one of their most dangerous players in Nuno in space? For a few reasons. A, because I think Nuno is going to hold quite a high space. So if he does, that's easier in terms of tracking. And that's easier in terms of passing. And when I say passing, I mean passing a player on. I mean saying, right, they've switched, you go over, I'll now track this run. And then suddenly you've got these runs, but you've still got your whole back four intact, ready to go. And Nuno Mendes is going to get really high up the pitch. But also because you're baiting the press, you want to force them that way, because then you've still got... Here we go. You've still got a really solid shape in there ready to cover. So if Timber does jump and Saliba comes across, you're kind of covered. It's all about having players in the areas they're comfortable to defend and get to. So yes, technically you're saying, yeah, we're leaving Nuno Mendes free, but you're not, because Timber will be very quick to get out to him. We are good at doing this. We are good at saying, right, we're gonna press in a certain way, we're gonna lean a certain way to force the ball to go another certain way, and then you go and jump. Arsenal do this very, very well. So I'm not too worried about that. That's my thinking around it. Now, what I would do, just to execute this a little bit better, personally, is actually change the personnel. So I wouldn't start Ødegaard. I think he will start, but I wouldn't. I'd start. Let's get him on. Here we go. You can see him coming on screen now. I would start Eze. I think that's a physical matchup I'd really like to see. And I wouldn't start Havertz either. I would start Gyökeres. So now we're looking at the 11 I want to see. That, I think, you've got a physical... I know Pacho is a very good defender. But Saka's really strong. I back... And again, Marquinhos, top defender. But I back our boys. Again, Vitinha, Neves, they're not lightweights. I mean, they might be shorter than 6 foot, but they're not easy to bully. But I back every single one of our players here to win their physical battle. Every single one of them. Trossard, but Trossard in a different way. But sure, maybe that's the only one where I think, we might struggle. But that might be with the dynamism too. Because when Hakimi's bombing forward, Trossard's going to have to work really hard. That is where there's a temptation. Keep picking up the wrong player. That's where there's a temptation to play Martinelli. Now then, I think we've got the physical edge all over the pitch. Max, good to see you. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. What do you make of that tactical setup? What do you make... love comments like this. Thanks, Alroy. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you, bro. Love, man. Hope you're having a good Saturday. Some people saying Capie needs to start. So yeah, what changes would you make to the 11? What changes would you make to the setup? How do you expect this to look? How do you expect this to go? And I suppose the final thing I'll say while this is all coming in is I actually think the first 10 minutes of this game is going to look like this. I think Arsenal are going to be very aggressive onto PSG. So Safanov with the ball. I think Arsenal are going to really, really, really step onto them. And they're going to be, I think they're going to be brave. I think they're really going to try and make their physicality and their presence shown and felt in that first 10 to 20 minutes. Now, naturally, they'll get on the ball and they'll work, not the goalkeeper. They'll get on the ball and they will work us all the way back. And this is where Arsenal then, as they get into this shape, this is where we need to be. And we're going to take Martinelli out, put Trossard back in. But this is where we need to be super compact. Because I actually think when Hakimi makes that run, it will have to be Trossard who comes in, or it will have to be Lewis Skelly who cover. And I think there will be a lot of that from our wide players. A lot of covering, a lot of dropping deep. But I would love to see if it is, even if it's Havertz, but if it is Gyökeres up front. I would love to see him just constantly, he'll drop into this shape. We'll get into the 4-4-2. But I'd love to see him just peeling off. Constantly giving us that ability. They try play through, we win it back. As Rice has got it, we've just hit that channel ball. And Gyökeres is onto it. He won't necessarily get in behind them. Pacho's quick. But create this situation. Create this situation and let the whole Arsenal team follow you up the pitch. That's what I'm hoping we see. So that's why I'd go Gyökeres and Eze. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I think we can go back to just regular chats about it all, but let me know your thoughts in all this as well. We will have to defend for our lives. I completely agree. James, the fact that I'm trusting Arteta between Kai and Victor Gyökeres and Ødegaard and Eze, he knows best. He knows best. I'm confused. Just edging it for Victor in the press. Yeah. I get what you mean. We've got to trust him. We've got to trust Miko. He's got us to this point. We've got to just go with what he's feeling. Got a feeling that Ødegaard has a leading performance today. I really hope you're right. Shoot from range. Safanov could be their carriers. I'm not sure he will, but sure. Shoot from range. I hear it. Have a go. That's why another reason why I want players like Eze on the pitch. I just think as Ødegaard is the captain, Arteta isn't going to leave him out. I know what you mean, but when Ødegaard... I know Ødegaard's in good form at the moment. When Ødegaard was in poor form, he was happy to take him off in big games. I remember Forest, I remember United, even maybe the Liverpool game. He came off in all those. And we needed goals in all those games. He then didn't start him in some games when he was fit and ready to go. So I don't think he's afraid to leave Ødegaard out. I think Arteta will do what he has to do. Max is absolutely right. Don't forget to leave a like, people. It does help the channel a lot if you are enjoying this content. Yeah, please smash the like button and subscribe if you haven't yet. And if you don't know what we're doing on Football First, go check that out as well. That is the former Goonerverse news channel where we're doing football content. Everyone, show some love to Max and all the amazing work he has done to get all these channels ready, to get all the work ready, dealing with all the constant requests and constant tweaks and changes that I want. But yeah, his branding and his stamp is on all that you're seeing. So yeah, show him some love. Should we get some score predictions in, people? Should we get some score predictions in? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section and in the live chat. What are you thinking is going to happen? I think it'll be a fast start from Arsenal. But I actually don't. So I think it'll be a fast start from Arsenal. I think we'll start really on them and we'll get a foothold in the game. I actually don't think we'll score. I think PSG will score either late in the first half or early in the second half. Anything between minute 40 and 60. I think they'll get a goal around then. And then I think Arsenal will spend the last 30 minutes trying to nick a goal back. I think we'll get it around between 70 and 78. And then, I'm being very precise with this, but this is what I think will happen. And then I think it'll go to extra time and then we'll go to penalties. And I think we'll win in a penalty shootout. That's my prediction. Let me know yours in the comment section below. That would be a painful way to lose it. It'd be the most dramatic way to win it. Let's go through your comments now. What's everyone thinking? 1-0 to the Arsenal. 2-0. 2-1. Some love for Max Woodhouse here. 2-1 Arsenal. 2-1 Arsenal. 3-1. Wow. 2-1. 2-1 or 1-0. 2-2. Arsenal to win on penalties. 2-1. 2-1. 1-1. 3-1. 2-2. 2-1. Arsenal get smashed today. Okay, we've got a rival. We've got ops in the chat. Here we go. James, I really think our subs will make a lot of difference. An 87th minute Martinelli farewell magic, perhaps. Wouldn't be bad with it. PSG 0, Arsenal 1. 97th minute winner by Dalman. Max, man. What are you... Oh, because he's got the same name. That's why. That's why. Bias predicting. That would be mad though, wouldn't it? You are prepping us for a heart attack. I'm not. I'm telling you what I think. 1-0. 1-0 win. Some people thinking it's just going to be PSG. Love it. 5-0 Arsenal. There we go. Why not? Why not? It's football, eh? A lot of people saying that it's going to be, this is going to be stressful for people. Yes, it is going to be stressful. Dig deep. This is going to be tough. And you know, and talking on the nerves quickly, and we'll do final super chats, is I have felt very relaxed. I have felt quite calm going into this game. I can't explain that. I don't know if it's a trust I have in this group. I don't know if I've got this kind of like, what does serenity mean? Let me look up that word before I say it. I've said it now. What does serenity mean? I feel like I'm going to... Yes, I have this serenity, state of quality of being calm, peaceful and untroubled. I have a state of serenity. I feel quite just at peace with this game coming up. I feel relaxed. I feel excited. But I do feel calm. I don't feel like unbelievably pumped and let's go. I don't feel super nervous and stressed. I'm like, okay. The Champions League final today. That's so weird. Considering we have made, what is there, a mountain out of a molehill? I'm saying a lot of things that I don't really know what they mean. But I think I know that one. That means you're making things out to be bigger than they are, right? Considering we've done that for like Bournemouth at home and Burnley away in November. And like whenever we've had these big games, everything's felt massive. To come to an actually genuinely enormous game and us to all feel pretty calm is really strange. But maybe that speaks to the trust we have in the players. Big thank you for your super chats. If you can't go 90, would you rather Timber start the game or come on to close it out? I lean towards closing it out. No, I think we need to get a good foothold in the game. And I think Mosquera against a more tired... Look, he could come on against Barcola or he could face a more tired PSG, but I'd rather that. Let's manifest like Arteta, already celebrating. Yeah, I love it. James, I've been watching your content for years, says Raj. Thank you so, so much. Even though you don't know me, it feels like you've been on this journey with me. Let's enjoy this day. Man, Raj, thank you so much. Or Rajakula, I hope I pronounced that correctly. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being a part of this. Thank you to everyone who's been tuning in. And I know what you mean. There is something emotional about like the journey we've all been on, whether it be me making content, being a fan of the games, whether you guys have been to games, followed around the world, the 3 a.m. starts, the 1 a.m. starts, the early morning starts before work. We've all put in a huge shift to support this football club. And now here we are on the biggest stage of all. We really deserve it. Enjoy it, everyone. I'm not relaxed. I want to puke. And then final super chat. Greetings from Macedonia. We're winning tonight. I agree with you. I think we're going to do it. Okay, everyone, I'm going to leave it there. I can't thank you all enough for tuning into the live, for all the support. Let's go do it, Arsenal. Come on. The chance to make history. We're capable of it. Going to leave it there. Big, big thanks. I think we're going to do it. Come on. Let's bring that energy into the biggest game we've had in 20 years. A week ago, we lifted the biggest trophy we have for 22 years. Let's build on that unbelievable momentum and make history. As Arteta would say, let's make it happen. The boys can do it. Catch you in a bit.